What's up guys, today on Built we're going to be using some old school hot rod tricks to get the rear end of my MGB to sit a lot lower. I'm pretty excited about it, it's going to be sick. Also, I almost cut my toe off. Before we get to that, we have new shirts. They just dropped today. They're MG shirts. Now, I'm super excited about this shirt for several reasons. The first reason is that I've been working with a company called Uniform Graphics to make these shirts more affordable and a higher quality, and we've done it. These shirts right now are $18, which is unbelievable. And what's crazy about it is we went up in a print quality, we went up in a shirt quality, and we're still able to give these things to you guys for a way cheaper price. I'm so stoked about these. This is the first time we've had like a current design on a shirt, like the build that we're doing right now. And it is sick. So these went live today. You can order yours today. The way we're doing these, the way we're keeping this price down is I'm doing a pre-sale for 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, you can get the shirt for $18. And at the end of that time span, we'll print all the shirts and ship them all out. After that, I will have some shirts left in stock and we'll sell them, but they will be sold at a higher rate. So if you want to get your shirt for $18, go order it today and it'll be part of this pre-sale special offer. Thank you guys so much for supporting Built. Let's get on with making this car low. Was I inside?
Yeah.
No, I had to go to the store real quick, but I'm back now.
Yeah, I couldn't see you in the shoe.
You couldn't see me in the store?
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Daddy, go and get that cycle. Daddy, you.
You gonna work with me?
Yeah.
Okay, come over here.
Okay. I got this. It's faster and faster.
You gotta use that because it goes faster and faster and faster?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go this side.
Alright, let Daddy find the right piece. Hang on.
Okay, I come with you. Daddy,
That's the one.
Yeah. You're filling it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do it now. Daddy, you think it's getting too loud.
It's too loud?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't want you to do that because it won't help. Mom, you're doing it loud again. Daddy, that thing fell off.
It's falling apart.
Yeah, it fell off.
Yeah.
It's okay. Daddy, you're getting too hard.
Think so?
Yeah, you got.
Oh, I gotta. That makes sense, sorta. Sorta. So today's video is brought to you by Sonic Tools. Sonic Tools has been a big sponsor of the channel for the past several months, and I have fallen in love with these tools. And the reason I'm talking to you about them today is they are doing a massive sale. It's like 50 to 60% off a ton of their stuff, including fully stocked toolboxes. Now, here's the deal. This sale ends this weekend. Like it's done, it's over, everything goes back to regular price. So if you want some nice tools, maybe you got some Christmas money that's burning a hole in your pocket, or maybe you've just been waiting for the right time to buy tools, right now is the right time. Go to SonicToolsUSA.com. You can get a huge discount on a full set of tools for your garage to set you up to work on literally anything, including this car back here behind the camera that you guys can't see that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. I'll show you in a future video. Thank you so much to Sonic Tools for supporting this channel. Go check their website out. It is definitely worth looking at. They are easy to use, easy to organize, and come with a lifetime warranty. You just can't go wrong. So if you've ever been thinking about getting nice tools, this weekend is the weekend to do it because the sale is about to end. All right, back to the video. All right, so if you want to lower these cars a lot, there's no really straightforward way. And I found a lot of different stuff on the internet. Now the easy way to go would be to buy a kit. You can get new leaf springs that'll drop the car like 2 inches for 180 bucks a piece, which isn't bad. And then the front, there's all kinds of stuff that we'll get to later in the video. It's going to be more complicated. What I was going to do first though is just put some 2-inch lowering blocks on the back to drop it down. The problem with the lowering block is as you raise your axle away from the leaf spring, you tend to kind of deal with some axle wrap, which is bad for handling. Basically meaning the axle starts to try to rotate over the spring, and you increase that leverage by increasing your block size. I didn't really want to do that with this car. It kind of seems like it would defeat the purpose of lowering it. So I'm going to try something I've never done before. One sec. So what you guys saw me doing at the beginning of this video is making my own leaf spring. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I don't know if it's gonna work, if it's gonna be good, but I made it and I'm pretty happy about that. But if you look, there's 2 main differences here. Oh, my wrist. So the 2 major differences you'll see is one, the new leaf spring here is arched a little bit less than the old one. That's due to what I did to achieve this. And it's also thinner, which I think is gonna mean a lower ride height. Now I went ahead and did one so I would kind of have an idea of what I was doing before I told you guys what I was doing. So now we're going to do the other one and I'll walk you through what I'm doing. Now I'm not suggesting you do this. I don't know. This is all experimentation for me. I don't know what it's going to do to the ride, but we're going to find out. Let's do it. All right. So I like to not have more than one project going on at a time, but right now I'm getting ready for 2021 for some content that we're going to be having early that year or early next year, and I've got a project that should have been done yesterday, but I ended up having to order some parts that were super hard to find. So we've got parts everywhere. We're gonna have to deal with it today. It's fine. Good news is though, more content, more cars. One of them is right here, and it's a secret that you guys don't know about yet. It'll be a one-shot, one video kind of deal. All right, so drop this right here. This is our leaf spring. Now for you guys that don't know, leaf springs are just pieces of steel that are arced to a certain degree, and the more steel that's there, the more spring that you have, basically. I know that's super simple, rudimentary kind of explanation, but that's basically what it is. They're normally bolted together in the center, and then you have these straps that hold them down on the outside. Pretty straightforward. Now there's 2 things we're gonna do today to lower the car. The first is we're going to do what's called a leaf spring flip, or an eyelet flip, I guess is what you would call it. And we're gonna take these eyelets, we're gonna actually take this top leaf, flip it over, and then rebend it and put it back on. And what that's gonna do is drop us basically the height of the eyelets, which I think is about 1 inch on this car. It's actually the height that's average between the 2 eyelet sizes. And this one's like 1.4 inches, and that one over there is like 0.8 inches. So if you average them, it's a little over 1 inch that we should get. On top of that, we're going to remove one of our long leaves, which from what I've read on the internet means it will lower the car and provide a stiffer ride, which I think is probably good. I don't know if that's true or not. Everything that I read seemed to be speculation, so I figured we would just try it out on the channel and see what happens. What we're going to do first is disassemble this whole unit. So based on this, I'm gonna guess that this one has never been replaced and the other one has. The clamps were different. They're one-use style clamps. The other one was had reusable clamps. And this one's just kind of in worse shape overall. But this one did come out without having to do any cutting. The other one had to actually cut the leaf spring out, basically. This one we didn't, so I don't know what that means. But what I'm doing is I'm removing the second leaf. So there's a leaf that runs the length of this thing. There's actually two that are the same length that run all the way across this. So we're removing, we're removing one of those. We're keeping the second one. We're actually going to cut the second one down so that it fits inside of here when it's bent back. But we'll get to that. First, we've got to kind of straighten this thing out a little bit. Now, I had mentioned how we were going to have to cut this down, and this is why. With the eyelets flipped, you can see this is not going to fit. It's got to fit inside of here, basically. So because it won't, we're going to have to cut it down so that it will. So I'm just going to set this on top of here. And then what we'll do So I've been dealing with some carpal tunnel type issues recently, which I think means I'm getting old. My mom dealt with it when I was a kid, and so I guess that's where it's coming from. But basically all that means is that every now and then my wrist would just stop working and just my hand just drops whatever's in it. And unfortunately, that happened while I was using the grinder to cut the springs. So you can see where it went through my shoe right there. And then you can see where it went through my sock right there. I'm not going to show you where it went through my foot, but it did. So I had to take a couple hours to let my bleeding stop, but I'm okay. I can walk on it again, just moving very slowly. But I went and got this brace, so that should keep the thing from happening again. I also went and got a blade for a sawzall, because it's just a little more predictable and less likely to cut my toe off if I drop it. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to throw this thing in the vise and cut it with the sawzall. I may have a video of me dropping the thing on my foot. I don't know. If I do, I'll show you guys. I don't know if I can, though. YouTube may demonetize for that kind of stuff. If I feel like it's not bad, I'll show it to you. My toe's still there, so that's good. Let's go cut this spring. Because now would be a good time to talk about proper shoes in the shop. Now, I almost never wear tennis shoes in here. In fact, I don't even know why I was wearing them today, but I was. And it was the day that I dropped. Oh, that's so much better. I couldn't do this earlier with my right hand. It was the day that I dropped the spinning wheel of death on my foot. That took longer than planned, but this thing actually helps. Like, I can actually use my hand again, which is great. I'm gonna leave this clamped like this for a little bit. I did this with the other one kind of by accident, and it helped just kind of reshape the eye spring, the one with the two loops on either end. So I'm gonna do this for this one on purpose. I'm waiting on some bushings. I ended up having to order some bushings because these bushings are okay, but the ones on the other springs got totally destroyed when I removed the springs. So I went ahead and ordered a full new set of bushings and inserts, all the stuff you need for your leaf springs. It all needs to be replaced. And I ordered some stuff for the front as well. So because I'm waiting on those, I'm not in as much of a rush to get this done anymore. I'm gonna let this sit like this for maybe overnight. And then we'll come back, we'll put all of the leaves together, screw it back together, remount everything, and we'll have a new leaf. Alright, so I did a little bit of work off camera, mainly because I lost my camera, but I found it, and you're here. We have this. This is the spring that you just saw me building, and I had to, you can see I still haven't cut these clamps off yet. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll probably just cut them, but I'll try not to cut my foot this time. I did make some clamps just out of some stuff from Home Depot. It's just some flat pieces of metal that had holes in them. Some of them are actual U-bolts that I used, and yeah, anyway, they're clamps, they work, and I think they're going to be fine for holding this stuff together. I'm fairly certain. Can't be certain because I've never done it, but I painted them black because it looks cool and looks much better that way. And now we are going to throw in some new bushings. This is funny, I set up this elaborate tool to pull this bushing out, and it just pulled out. Maybe I'll need it for the other side. Whoa! Wow, I'm glad I wasn't standing in front of that. I had no idea. So that definitely happened because I was pushing on the rubber and, ooh, that's hot. Holy cow. Pushing on the rubber and not the actual metal. But I couldn't find a way to do that. That was insane. It shot like, I don't know, 25, 30 feet. If you use metric, that's 25 or 30 feet converted to metric. If you do not grease silicone or urethane bushings, they can have a tendency to squeak, from what I've heard. But I had full, in my MR2, I had full urethanes everywhere and it was silent. So as long as there's some grease there, and this, when I say grease, this feels like glue. So I imagine it's meant to stay for a very long time. Those go in way easier. With that, that is everything that needs to be done off the car. I'm gonna run this bolt in and then we'll do the other side, and then we'll be ready to throw these things back in. I'm also gonna take care of these while I'm at it. Wait, do it again? We can go a little bit more, I think, before we start hitting anything. Make some adjustments. We're lifting this wheel up to see if it's going to clear. You want to come watch?
Yeah.
Come sit with me.
I'm right here. I'm right here, Daddy. Daddy, don't go on your pink.
Well, we got to watch right here. It's getting pretty close.
It's getting close to me.
Alright, you can stop right there, dude. Come look. This is too close. We got to move it, which I thought I might have to anyway.
Yeah. I don't push it. I'm not strong enough.
Oh, this wheel's not on. I forgot to put that wheel on. Hang on.
Ready?
No.
Okay.
I'm tightening this wheel up.
Daddy, look, a plane!
A plane?
Yeah!
Whoa!
Look, grab it. Someone's flying it.
Somebody's flying it?
Maybe Cohen. Yeah. It's here. It's Cohen. Cohen's driving that way. Can I do it now? Okay,
I don't think we can go up anymore. Come look. We're touching right here. If we go up more, we're going to break the fenders. You hear me? Don't do it. Hey.
I just put a little
Come look.
wheel.
Look right here. See? That's not good. Let's go check the other side.
Okay. I am going to
Alright, so I think we might have guessed correctly. Let me show you what I mean. Over here, I have the suspension fully compressed. You can see we have just enough clearance. The tire tucks up into there, which is pretty awesome. I think that's going to be really great. Now this is obviously way too close, and that has to do with how I mounted the fender. You can see close to the tire there, not close to the tire there. So we've got to move it forward about an inch, but that's fine. That happened when we kind of pulled this in to make this fit this car instead of the Porsche. It kind of adjusted that shape a little bit. So if we take this and pull it this way 1 inch, I think it's going to fix that. We'll do that in a future video. I don't want to make any adjustments yet since the car is still off the ground. It's going to be hard to kind of know where everything needs to be. But I'll lift this side and show you what this side does as well. Alright, and this is pretty much full compression on the left side. So they're fairly even, which is good. You can see this one's touching off right here to the fender as well, and this big gap back here is going to have to get resolved. Now I think that we can fix that just by taking the fender and literally just moving it forward. Worst case scenario, I think, is we cut right here on this seam and just pull this out a little bit. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal either way, but best case, what we'll try first is just taking it and shifting everything forward, see if that makes everything work. Right now, the wheel, the center of the arch is about right here, and I think if we take it and move it to the center of the wheel, everything will be good. It was at the center of the wheel, but when we push this kind of inward to fit this car, it took that shape, that ellipse, I guess, and twisted it, and when it twisted it, it changed the center. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what happened. So we'll move it forward. If that doesn't look right, then we'll make some more modifications to this fender. This fender only took like a day to build, so I'm not super upset if I've got to do some more modifying, but I think it's going to work out all right. Another thing we could try is just pulling this out some. Now, that's not a big deal either. We'll just have to go down that road. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it, but I wanted to wait until we got the car lowered to do that, because we're going to be building the side skirt, and I'm going to base the side skirt on the car's ride height. I'm going to build in some steel structure underneath it, so that'll be my actual jacking point, is be on the side skirt. That way, if I do hit the side skirt on the ground, or when I hit it on the ground, it's not going to just destroy it if it's just made of fiberglass. So there's a little bit of R&D that needs to go into that. We'll get to that in a couple videos, but for now, I'm very happy with this. I think this is going to look awesome. Again, this is not like the ride height. This is compressed. So ride height should be maybe like 1.5 finger gap, 2 finger gap, something like that. About 1.5 inches or so gap around the wheel, which for me is great for driving on the street. It's kind of what I shoot for in all my cars. So I think we're going to be good with the rear. Now, obviously, I don't know how it drives. We'll have to drive it and see. If it's not stiff enough, the other thing I could always go back and do is get custom leaf springs. So that's kind of my plan B. Everything failed, you know, start over kind of deal, is buy some dropped leaf springs and then do this, just bolt them in and be done. We were going to do the front in this video, but turns out MGB front ends are really complicated, and kind of like the rear, my plan this video was to cut the springs and drop the rear with blocks, and kind of looking into that and researching more, the block thing didn't seem like a good idea just because of how much it would affect performance negatively. And I'm still going to cut the springs on the front. I'll show you how to do that in the next video, and I'll show you why I'm doing that in the next video. But there's other things you have to do to lower an MG front, just because it's kind of an old school kingpin style steering geometry, steering, I don't even know what you'd call it, what word I would use, but basically it's old, and so it's not as easy as like in a new car, just throwing a set of coilovers in and running them all the way down. You got to do a lot more fabrication. So I'm working on that, talking with the machine shop, trying to get something together for that. So I have to push that off until next week. I hope next week. So in the next video, we're going to be pulling the fender and bumper out of their molds. They're almost done, and they look really cool. We'll throw those back on the car. I think the spoiler is going to be here pretty soon. If you watch the rendering video, you know which spoiler. It's going to be sick, dude. It's going to be so cool. So we'll get that thrown on. And then once that's on, the car's lowered, and we've redone the front suspension, which we were going to do in this video, but it's going to be really involved, so it'll be its own video. We'll build the side skirts, and then we'll paint it. It's going to be sick. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it took a long time for this video to come out. Me cutting my toe and my wrist and Christmas and just all kinds of other stuff caused me to have to take a week off and get everything sorted out. But anyway, we're back in it, and I'm really happy to be done with leaf springs. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks.
Whoa, careful. Oh, be careful. Whoa!
what
That was crazy.
you do. Yes.
Hey, good hit. High five.
Can I do a hit?
Yep.
Can I do a hit?
Yep. All right, let's let your brother hit. Hit right here. Smash right there. Gotta hold with 2 hands. It's heavy. Watch your feet. Oh, try again. Hit it. Yeah.
I'll try again. Daddy, your turn.
That was cool.
Daddy, your turn.
Okay.
Here you go. Daddy, you do it on my piece.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Do it hard.
You gotta count me down.
1, 2, 3, go!